Many poor and vulnerable people in Uganda face challenges in protecting and defending their rights, including due to limited knowledge of the law and how the formal justice system works. Many cannot afford to engage private lawyers to help them handle cases. Other challenges include long distances to courts, language barriers, and delay in concluding court cases. In seeking to promote access to justice for poor, vulnerable, and marginalized people in Uganda, the DGF supported 10 legal aid service providers who operated in over 70 districts in Uganda to assist people in need. These partners provided legal aid services to over 350,000 people, including widows and children, refugees and migrants, vulnerable and marginalized workers, and people in remote areas like Abim, Karamoja, and Moyo. Among the beneficiaries is Chandiru Judith, a tailor from Nakwero. Chandiru Judith is grateful for the legal aid provided through DGF's partner, the Muslim Center for Justice Law. MCJL supported her to respond to challenges she faced with regards to property and custody of her children.
My case was not an easy one. You know, battling an elephant, but Council Smire in particular, with her team, stood out and said, I have to fight for the rights of the orphans and to see to it that we get justice. If I had gone to other law firms, they would have abandoned my case because it needed money. But I was such a vulnerable person.
Legal aid enabled poor, vulnerable, and marginalized persons to realize their rights. Partners provided legal advice, mediation, and represented clients in court. They worked with informal justice actors, paralegals, and community advocates to provide timely legal assistance at community levels. People facing criminal charges were, where possible, assisted to obtain police bond and bail. All these engagements contributed to strengthening the rule of law. Nyombi Hussein, a graduate engineer from Makerere University, is a beneficiary of DGF's legal aid. Nyombi Hussein was arrested by police for having purchased a phone which turned out to be stolen. With the help of MCJL, Nyombi was able to prove his innocence, and today Nyombi is a happy Ugandan, fulfilling his career aspirations as an engineer.
Kanso Sumaiya yambeererawo nnyo mu budde obwo omwaka mulamba almost n'ekitundu. Yambeererawo nnyo through all that experience, gathering information, having discussions, ogenda kwogera otya, judge in case akubuuziza kino, what can you respond, complainant in case ayogedde bw'ati, what can we say. Njagala okusiima omulimu gwe yankolera okubanga yanzija mu bulamu bwaki, mu bulamu bw'ekkomera.
Chandiru and Nyombi cases are among the over 350,000 people who received DGF-funded legal aid services. Legal aid service providers have made real difference in protecting people's rights. DGF supported legal aid service providers to generate knowledge on poverty, marginalization, and access to justice, to contribute to sharing lessons learned and good practices in the delivery of legal aid services.
A Muslim Center managed to get a project that was funded by DGF, and it was entitled Access to Justice in the poor and marginalized groups, most especially the Muslim communities. We were operating in 5 districts. In that implementation, we were supposed to ensure that the people in those communities obtain access to justice, regardless of discrimination. So we would not discriminate whether you're Muslim or not Muslim. So long as your rights have been impacted on, you would come to us for assistance.
The DGF support to legal aid partners also enhanced research and real-time analysis around specific areas of legal aid intervention. These often foster dialogue and ongoing innovations within the legal aid field in Uganda.
When we talk about that research component, they had grown it because every year they knew the LASPNET would do either 2 researches fully funded by the Democratic Governance Facility. The researchers would not only end at research, but also launching the Access to Justice Conference would be funded to make sure that what we've done as research, again, translates into dissemination. They had come up with, again, funding the Innovations Conference. Because as you do research, you again find that there are people who are innovating within the legal aid sector and they need to be amplified. So they would fund. The corruption had become an annual corruption research. In addition to giving the project monitors that are able to go into the justice and other sector institutions to pick the good practices, to pick the bad practices and amplify them. And as a result, the sector was being transformed within, without going public, but within.
Muslim Center for Justice and Law purely operates on donor funding. And the Democratic Governance Facility, or the DGF, was our major donor for the Access to Justice program, which encompassed a number of activities that included provision of direct legal aid, that is court representation, mediation of cases, legal advice, through direct interface with the beneficiaries or the clients, as well as through legal education.
DGF support also strengthened signature call centers to enhance accessibility to information by legal aid clients. Through the call centers, clients are able to seek information and advice about their issues. This enables them to make informed and timely decisions on how to proceed. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when many Ugandans could not physically access justice services, the call centers made it possible for poor and vulnerable persons to receive remote legal aid services. While the DGF partners extended support to beneficiaries across the country, there remains need for a legal framework to ensure sustained access to legal aid services. Many DGF partners advocated for the adoption of the Legal Aid Bill, which would significantly contribute to a more sustainable legal aid regime in Uganda and help people make their rights a reality.